Hi, I just had a really nice dinner down the road at one of the churches. I went there. Can you see that? It's a local church just down the road doing a free meal on a Wednesday evening. Really nice. Vegetarian, which is what I am anyway, but really nice. Really nice, like a vegetarian Christmas dinner, really, and presented really well as well. And they gave me some mince pies and that to take home, which is really nice of them. Yeah. Right. So I only just got in. I'm just trying to set everything up. Almost on the dot for 9 o'clock. Doesn't look like there's anybody there yet. People can be busy, you know, like kids can stay up and that, you know, or they're almost already grown up, they're almost already young adults, really, you know, people are busy and that. It's like tea time, like posh people have their dinners about now, you know, 9 in the evening, that's when posh people have their dinner. So like, here we are at the Sincere Detox personal blog. The live online media event that I'm hosting. Just bear with me while I set up. Sorry, I literally only just got in. I went to the toilet first. And that, washed my hands. Everything in order. Yeah. Stay safe. Remember, practice the guidelines. If you're going to stay home, help stop the virus. Thank you. Stay home. Be safe, be well, enjoy recovery if you have had COVID as well, one of the variants, or you have a relative or a friend who has had COVID. Recover, practice the guidelines, help stop the spread of the virus. Good luck. Should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the results and all the stats. So, this event is for anyone on or off Facebook. The subject of the event is Betrayals, Appraisal is Dishonest. So, with that, we're getting back to the point of reformation and reforming. So it's redemption again. And what we're really looking at is the maid of a prisoner. So in being made as a prisoner, and that prudential slavery to it that is like it's a value that's shared within circles of like-minded, so that they all seek appraisal from each other in how they have their issues, their trust issues. Like everyone has trust issues, albeit they're not in the bondage of criminality. But everyone has trust issues. Betrayal is a serious thing. It's about performance. It's about honesty. Even in criminality, it's a degree of honesty that develops within the circle of that, in the way they're connected, like a team. So when it comes to betrayal and being betrayed, it's like the Judas of Jesus. I mean, they were rebels, right? They rebelled against the tyranny and oppression of the Roman Empire's occupation, and they sought to take occupation of their land by force, which is what they did in the tyranny and oppression of the Roman Empire and their regime. Now, because of that, because they took the land by force and the peoples, and that by slaughtering them, and raping, pillaging and everything, and imposing all their Roman Empire rules on those peoples, they made choices. They chose a particular part of the church to represent their peoples. This was, of course, in the story of the Bible, all part of the contributing factors and elements to the lights of the rebellion, led by the Rabbi Jesus and his disciples, until it all fell apart in how they are kind of fugitives. They are like wanted criminals. They are fugitives at times. They got into loads of trouble, like spreading their Christian word in rebellion against the Roman Empire and that of the corrupt church that they chose to represent their people. So that, as the story goes, so then until it all fell apart, and whereby Jesus was betrayed by one of his own disciples, that Judas. Now, on a practical level, there's a general theme that on either side of the scheme of things, so from the good and the bad, the right and the wrong, on a practical level, it's pretty liberal that goes through, like as a generally shared like value that they take up, until there are real issues with betrayal. Now, betrayal, right, and appraisal and dishonesty, they go hand in hand. They are the consequences, they are the temper, they are the handle and the assault, right? In general, on either side, they are all part of the rejection, it's all part of the revenge, it's all part of forgiveness. You'll find this between a husband and a wife, you'll find it between a girlfriend and a boyfriend, you'll find it between a boss, and his employee, you'll find it between a man and his dog, who he's meant to look after and look after each other. In terms of where like mutual respect really is, when there really is mutual respect without having to tolerate unmutual disrespect, right? So with that, and the act itself, a betrayal, and the infidelity, if you like, the infidelity of betrayal and its deception. But on a more general scale, This is where I'm going with it, right? So adjust, right? Because with the likes of appraisal, yeah, there comes belief. And with the likes of belief, right, there will be blame. There'll be blame, and with blame there'll be victims, yeah? And this is all because of trust. So as a principal concern, trust is like numero uno. Most important rule of them all. Number one, trust, right? So when you assess anything, so you're like making an assessment, you're trying to understand something, yeah? And that, for its worth and its value, and that, understand the words and the meaning, and that, take it all in, and assess it, evaluate it, right? You're looking at it from that aspect, you're looking at it, or like, you're taking it on board, you're taking it all on board on the basis of trust, right? And that will have to involve wisdom, because wisdom is all important where trust is concerned. So, who do you trust? No matter, even if you're a bad person, who do you trust? Or you trust nobody? Trust no one? How do you get on in life? How are you going to be a success? How are you going to excel? Are you a doormat? No. Are you vulnerable? Like, are you weak? You can't help but be foolish at times. You make mistakes. Sometimes you don't know who to trust, and you take the risk on, even though you probably shouldn't, but you do it anyway. You know, we're covered to a certain extent in good business and good business practices. You should be covered because you should be insured against the likes of others and their betrayals. Yeah. Pardon me. If you're doing it in a corrupt way, so that it's a bad practice, you'll have to bear the brunt, yeah, of the penalty instead of being covered. If you just deliberately went out of your way because of a team of idiots to like that work for you or work with you, to do it all wrong, yeah, like deceit, dishonesty, the neglect of it, the non-compliance, the non-disclosure, the misinformation, the misrepresentation of it. You deliberately went out of your way to do that. Like, you'll have to bear the brunt of the penalty instead of being covered for it. Right, so here we go. It's about cheating. So when someone cheats, yeah, and they're putting everything on the line, yeah, do you qualify in cheating? Well, no, not really, you don't, not at all, because once they work out that you have, you get disqualified. Right, so that's all to do with the trust principle and the distrust or mistrust, untrustworthiness, yeah? It's the break-in, the breaching, the violation of, yeah, in contract. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to like business, or like just an agreement in general, whether that's verbal or like written, you know, like an agreement's agreement, you're talking a contract. This is contractual stuff. That's that, period. Even though I just said, you know, can I sweep your drive? I'll clean your, like I'll sweep your drive down, or I'll take all the rubbish out for you, like before bin day, like, and I'll take it all out for you and put it out there for the bin. You just give me like a couple of biscuits and a slice of cake. Yeah, that's an agreement. You agree to that. However, whether it's just verbally, or you know, and a handshake, whatever, or you sign something, it's a contract. That's what it's all about. Everything's a contract. And you do this in the confidence of trust. Any agreement is a contract. And you do all of that in the confidence of trust. I'll say it one last time. Any agreement is a contract. And you do all of that in the confidence of trust. So within a relationship, or just as an individual working on your own, or between an organisation or organisations, and between individuals and organisations, when it comes to an agreement, that's a contract. And any work you put in and contribute towards any of that, in any of those ways I've just mentioned, will be in the confidence of trust. You can go as far as to say, in terms of like consumer rights and being a customer, yeah, to a service, a product and a service, and that's what you use. It means you've got rights, and those rights are given to you in the confidence of trust. So they trust you, trusted you and that business. You understand? They trusted you and that product and service provider, supplier, yeah, to serve the rights of that customer. This is like an agreement, and that you would do with the government and the bank and so on, and the insurance company and everything, and that's all in the confidence of trust, right? You would do this in drug dealing. In drug dealing, it's exactly the same. And that agreement is like a contract, and that's all in the confidence of trust, except that it's extremely illegal. It's not a common business practice because it's a criminality and it's illegal, right? And you're not paying your taxes, this, that and the other, you don't have a license and blah, blah, blah. So, at the end of the day, all of this type of stuff is done in the confidence of trust. And it is because of appraisal, period. Because you will take it up on the basis of appraisal from customers, appraisal from the team, appraisal. You will take it on board in every appraisal possible. You will take it on board in the appraisal from the government, in appraisal from the bank, in appraisal from the insurance company. You take it on and on and on and on and on, all day long. You take it on in confidence of an agreement that's like a contract, period, based on trust. Right, so it gets me thinking of my brand. I keep going, I go out a bit, I come back round. I'm always coming back round on the same point. It's like my thesis, my synopsis, my brand, my philosophy. It go out, branches out, and then it just goes back, and keeps going back. Goes all the way out, around, back. So sincere, the sincere community, pardon me, sincerity. Take it on board. You know what sincerity means, and being sincere and sincereness and that. If someone trusted you enough to believe you, and believe you're telling the truth, and believe you're being honest, and that you were sincere, that's in the confidence of trust. The opposite of insincerity, right, is insincerity. So the opposite of it is insincerity. Now that is antithesis, is antithesis, and antithesis. This is where it's where my synopsis turns into like a PhD. So I'll become a professor of my brand philosophy, right? Okay, and I have to deal with the opposite of the whole point. To give emphasis to my brand philosophy, if you like, the brand philosophy, to give emphasis and meaning and definition, right? And give that it's concise, it's exact, right? It's correct, it's concise, it's correct, and that's within the context of my audience, my audience, my customers, yeah, my members, my prospects, yeah, my values, my beliefs, yeah, so on and so forth, right? So like the process of building, yeah, like trust, right, can only be understood, yeah, and worthwhile, yeah, when you consider it and you actually embark on it and do it and fulfill the process. It can only really make, pardon me, the sincere difference you're trying to establish, yeah, by being trustworthy. If it doesn't happen, there's distrust, yeah, will be a problem. It's untrustworthy, yeah, it'll be a problem because it was insincere. There was an aspect or a part, or the whole thing fell apart because of betrayal, right? In the product, in the service, yeah, this, that, in the management, in the project, yeah, in the program, so on and so forth. The whole thing falls apart. In the client, in the prospect, in the customer, in the member, yeah, the thing just kept falling apart. In the subscriber, and it fell apart because of distrust and untrustworthiness, right? So every aspect is concerned, from the like director, which is me, from the like chief executives to the assistants, to everybody, and the customers, the members, and blah blah, right? It all fall apart the moment, yeah, the whole point of the product and service is untrustworthy, right? In a partnership, the same thing applies. And on a basis of caring and motivation and time, yeah, energy, yeah, and guidance and communication and commitment, yeah, trust and sincerity is always a good thing. It's always a positive thing. It's what is required. Yeah, that is good business practice. It's reliable. It's trustworthy. Right? The opposite, of course, it's not feasible. It's up for debate. It's up for debate, but it's not feasible. It's infeasible. It's not the way to work on a professional basis and build professional relationships. And that when you're trying to set the right example, right? So the same goes with the government. The same goes with the country. So when you've got the government and the country, right, and you've got the likes of society, and society is made up of lots of different communities, and there's divisions, right? It's fragmented, it's fractured, and culture is in the way because culture is littered negatively with ideology, right? Which is like a fraud at the end of the day. So right, here we go. Now, you support who? You trust who? You identify with who? You are who? Your friend or your foe? Your competitor or your enemy? You're trustworthy or you're untrustworthy? You're sincere or you're insincere? In a betrayal of trust, right? That's a really harmful situation. It's really bad. As I go back on myself already, like I said before, what you're looking at, the consequence of causing the loss, or the consequence of loss causing, yeah, the outcome is disrespect. You're looking at the outcome of disrespect. If you cannot be trusted, yeah, then there is no mutual respect. All you get is unmutual disrespect. You steal everything from yourself. in what you stole from others. So like you stole everything. So it's like me saying, I couldn't trust you. You weren't to be trusted. You stole everything, and literally from yourself. By the time they're finished with you, and I, do you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, and that's within misrepresentation. That's within misinformation. It's within asserting nothing but myths, yeah, for the likes of being untrustworthy. So like, or not to be trusted, distrustful. It pays to be distrustful, it pays to bear it in mind, it pays to be wise and make the wisest decision possible. It pays to only be like, it pays to make the process of the most fractional risk possible. So if you're making any sort of allowance at all for the slightest thing that might F it all up so that it all goes wrong, you're talking about the most fractional of risks possible. Yeah? You entertain that, you'll tolerate it as well, in case it might not be as bad as all that. It might have stayed in bed all day instead of showing up. And what, expects to get paid? Or expects to have the project finished? Do you see what I'm saying? There's much worse reality. I'll see you in court. Yeah? Over it if I have to, because when I say no, no means no. When it's your own fault anyway. And I tell you what, don't come back. Like, take a break, take a massive break, and don't come back until you like sorted your out, until you got your shit together and sorted it out. Because that's how it goes, you see. It depends, but if it's even worse, you'll definitely see him in court if it's even worse. And it's such a if you aren't covered, and you've got I'm like served with a penalty because of what, myself or you or them. We'll see. Right. Anyway, so sticking with the point, right, at the root of betrayal, the very root of betrayal, is deception. And deceit is misleading, because dishonesty is meant to be hidden. It's the worst reality of what's really the truth and what's really wrong with it. That's being hidden within the communication, hidden within the language, hidden within the real meaning, hidden within the words, within the way that people speak, within the way people will deliver their speeches and their behaviour temporarily until surprise, and right, that destroys everything. The facts are, yeah, trust is the principal concern. Every standard possible, moral, immoral, you name it, yeah, ethical, unethical, so on and so forth, every standard possible within a professional code, yeah, period, whether that's a good one or a bad one, is based on this confidence. It's all done in the confidence of trust. How do we fix the issues? Can they be fixed? Well, try not to push too hard for it, you know? Because somebody should have told you, right? I don't want to scare you, right? But if you ever felt threatened, you know? Felt threatened in going out for a drink and having too much to drink when you shouldn't have, or going out and having a smoke and that when you shouldn't have, but no one was meant to know anyway, you know, kind of like what they don't know won't hurt them. But God, have you ever felt scared? And if you got stopped while you were in the process, you see what I'm saying? And the same goes for like doing it properly, like being clean. When you're clean and you're reliable and you're trustworthy and then you're entrusted with more responsibility, that's on you, on yourself, on Delph. Yeah, you do it for Delph, you do it for yourself. It's on you, right? You can carry off the whole process and be a pro, yeah, or you can be in a ruin, yeah? Ruin, it's your own fault. And like a little bit your own fault anyway, if you're gonna done it and sharing the whole point of the lead. You shared the lead with someone else in a partnership or others, and they had too much responsibility that they couldn't handle and they messed it up, but now it looks like it's on you as well. Like, and it's your fault too, even though you didn't even do anything but just share the lead. I mean, like, when you put that experience to the test, like for real, and you really put that experience to the test, and you do that even just in being clean, and you think that you can trust yourself, and you think that others can trust you, and you think that you have been doing well, and you're feeling strong in everything, and you've had all the rest that you need, and you're cleaned right up. Do you see what I'm saying? The experience is made, like it is in the mind. And the mind is not the brain, the mind is the mentality. You have to separate the mind and separate the mindset from the brain. It's a completely different thing. The mind and the mindset, yeah, is all about your mentality and your mental health, right? But you see how difficult, I mean, that's where it's at. That's the experience itself. Rabbit in the headlights and all that. Like, it's not nice, you know, if you can't take it on board, you know, it's too much for you, then don't do it. You're a better person for speaking up, yeah, and just like refusing if it's too much for you. And you deserve a lot of respect and appreciation. It's like, at the end of the day, but like, nobody likes to feel threatened. Nobody likes bullies and liars, and or like even a prospect and a consequence in stuff like this. Especially if there's like, if that's your own money, or like whoever, there's some funder who like was trusting you enough. Do you see what I'm saying? Or a bunch of other people who also like bought into it to buy shares and stuff like that. This is what I mean. So when it just goes like that and you plummet out on a simplest thing, like the principal concern going completely wrong. And it's also the same in being reformed, in rehabilitation. And when you just bottom out on the slightest thing, do you know what I mean? It could be just something somebody said, you know, that effed you up and messed your day up completely to make you turn like from all the good like work that you've been doing the whole time in a process of like your reform and reforming. So like, it's something as simple as that, you know what I mean? In overcoming things like this and trust issues, well, there is an easy way to overcome it, and a way to like not be so drained by the experience. At the end of the day, it's a learning experience, period. You're learning. I don't expect anybody to be flippant and fickle about what I'm stating, because what I'm stating is not something that you don't need to take the mickey. Don't just take the mickey like secretly, like you're back there laying in wait, yeah, to like spring it. Don't do it. Like, take it on board properly. It's a learning experience. That's life, period. Right? As a child, as a teenager, as a young adult and an adult, and so on. What you need to focus on is the betterment of it all. The betterment is the therapy. And when you care and when you're motivated, and sincere, that's called mindset. It's called focus, right? It's called belief. It's called philosophy. And that it's something to practice. And it's worth developing it, wherever you're going with it, in whatever medium, because when it comes to arts, there's humanities, there's social sciences, there's the medical sciences, there's like the physics and all that and everything of it too, and the chemistry and the biology, there's every aspect, there's the business and the economics, there's the politics and the law. The whole thing just comes together, right? And if that's where your faith is at, that's your edge. Then that's that process. That's that process of becoming that process of becoming a professional. Pardon me, I get my words out right. I need to drink some water. But that is the process of becoming a professional in a professional practice. You see, so. Ultimately, and that's that. And ultimately, the flip side of it is betrayal. And betrayals, appraisals is dishonest. Okay? And it's with the dishonesty, it's disrespectful and it's disloyal. So this is where we go back to what I said literally at the beginning with the likes of Jesus being betrayed by Judas. That was a disloyalty, of Judas's dishonesty, to be so disrespectful, right? In his disobedience, obviously, ultimately, to the disgust and ultimate distrust of Jesus and Jesus's fate, right? So, like, anyway, and even then he went and kicked the table over in a corrupt church and that, and was crucified for it. Like, sad story. Which takes me back on brokenness and being broken. And all the cliches that go along with accompanying the likes of brokenness. So, damage needs to be repaired. Relationships easily fall apart. Trust fails as well as succeeds. For your own health and emotional well-being, you must be safe in the comfort of joy. I'll say it one more time. For your own health's emotional well-being, you must be safe in the comfort of joy. I want me to say it one more time, third time. For the sake of your own health's emotional well-being, you must be safe in the comfort of joy. Right, so I've gone on for about 43 minutes. I'm going to try to bring it to a close now. So, like, the difference between disloyalty and betrayal. Well, there's ultimately not that a lot of difference, to be quite honest. In an act of betrayal, that is just as countable. It's just as countable as it is disloyal. Disloyalty is countable just as much as betrayal is countable. In an act of disloyalty, disloyalty is betrayal. That's what I'm just saying. Which you would see that through in dishonesty, right? It makes sense, doesn't it? Call that common sense, or you call that the facts are the truth. It's not opinion. This is not opinion based. This is like the facts are the truth. It is objective and it is subjective. It's of being objective and subjective. But at the end of the day, the facts of the truth are when betrayal and disloyalty are both countable in acts of disloyalty's betrayal, which would be seen through in acts of dishonesty. That would be done. It would be, or I say, dishonesty. I say acts, not just acts, because like, well, it is and it isn't. This is where the law's a bit funny, because like obviously the deceit taught and stuff on fraud is more as part of common law. This is where you would separate common law from like acts. And obviously like the deceit taught is like the cornerstone. So I don't want to go into like the Bible or anything anymore. But anyway, so betrayal, yeah. Betrayal's appraisal is dishonest. Take that on board, because it's all part of what treachery is all about, and the treacherous. Treachery is to do with betrayal, yeah, and distrust and disloyalty and dishonesty, right? You're talking traitors, the faithlessness of the untrustworthy. So faithlessness of the untrustworthy, yeah, and their very dangerous footing, yeah, or the treacherous, or the backstabbers, and that, and the bullies, the liars. So they just smile in your face. And they'd sooner rather stab you in the back, which is exactly what they do when you turn away, like doing the wrong thing, in trusting the likes of. So, with insight on the issue, yeah, in regaining poise and redemption for the act of being reformed, for the reforming, the reformation, and the reformative way, yeah, to transform the whole issue, yeah, and all its feelings, yeah. Because really, at the end of the day, it's one of the saddest things ever, right? And I mean, it's so stupid. On the real, it's like one of the most, it's stupid and common as well, right? And I don't say it to be really mean. It's not like when I say like it's stupid, I don't say it with loads of malice. I ain't gonna like just open your head up over it or anything. It's just to make my point, emphasize my point. And these are like the words just don't come out of me and hit you in the head, and so you kill over. Like I've like blown a poison dart into your neck. Like it's not a point, or a poison dart into your ear hole, and then you just kill over or go deaf with brain damage or anything, right? In assessing the whole point, right? That's what I tried to do. I was forward thinking, right? Pardon me. We got into a little bit of law, yeah, and we got where the police are at. That is, right? And we got into the reform, yeah, of the whole point of redemption, yeah, and redemption and the constitution, yeah, of what constitutes the rel, yeah, of the whole issue. So, betrayal's appraisal is Dishonest. I want you to take that home, be calm, cool, calm, collective, yeah? Focus, mindsets, everything. The workplace, yeah? The adult learning, the therapy, it's all in betterment, yeah? Everything is done for a reason, right? Everything happens for a reason, right? All these agreements and whatnot, and the disagreements, yeah, they're all on the basis of the whole principle, yeah, that we've been dealing with, the whole meaning, yeah, the trauma, yeah, the torment, the trap, the fear, the hatred. So, in betterment, in therapy, we have to understand that it pays to take your time. It pays to be wise. It pays to be organised, not disorganised. Because when you assess something or someone, yeah, you're looking into the performance of that particular person or their particular part, yeah, that they play within a period of time and the prospects, and the prospects of that. Because what will be held? You'll be held to a temporary state, yeah, that will either fail or be a success. That's where appraisal is at in work, and the whole process of the combinations, yeah, taking up every element, yeah, of appraisal and all the feedback that you get from that performance you're assessing, right? So it's not just work, you do that in training as well. And you need to be really unbiased in assessing, well, not literally, but fulfill the scale as unbiasedly as you can, yeah, without an opinion, because we don't want opinions, we want facts. We want the facts, we want the truth. We don't want opinions, right? We want the honest value that I can trust. Give me the sincerity of honesty. That's the value I want and trust, right? Give into that is the conditions of, right, what's required, what I need, what I want, what's appropriate, yeah? In contrast to that, where the inappropriate's at what won't sell, what can't be trusted, pardon me. God, I just sat here, like, feeling fat right in my middle. So, more examples of appraisal. You would do that in inspecting materials. So you're inspecting products for a service. You're inspecting supplies. You're inspecting the team and their conduct. You're inspecting the finished goods. You're checking out the inventory, yeah, and testing the process. You're checking out and supervising everything. You're checking out the equipment, the software, you're checking out the maintenance, yeah? You're checking out everything possible where all the costs are concerned. Because costs are everything. And it's ultimately necessary and essential for appraisals to be made, yeah, professionally, because everything is on the basis of cost, right? Especially in business, in work, in education, in health. There are costs. They're not necessarily financial, and some of them are. Some of the reasons are, some of them aren't. Just stay focused on health and the benefits of it. It equates as similar value. It's all on the basis of cost. And when it comes to loss, and that's a really serious thing. What are you doing? I want comments, I want feedback. I might just leave it there, something to think about, absorb. Bit intense, I know. I hope the background helps chill you out. And make a cup of tea. Don't know, go wash your face and that or something. And maybe do like 100 press-ups if you need to, some star jumps, take the dog for a walk and that. You know, don't worry about it. Especially if it ain't your fault. And hardly likely to be. Yeah. But that's what it's all about. Stay safe, stay well, stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus. If you're staying home, stay well, stay safe. Thank you. If you've watched this as well, hope you recover. If you've had a dose of COVID-19, get on, recover. That's what it's all about. That's what I'm interested in. That's what impressed me. Recover. Right. All the best. Peace.